Get your butt up there. There you go. That's where you go. That's where you belong, you little dog. Oh. Alrighty. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Houston with a Problem. It's Wednesday. Doing a show a bit earlier today because I got a jet at 4 o'clock to go catch a ferry to go pick my friends up from the airport. So, that's that. What we got? Kevin Malone yesterday showed that SEI, who's the broker he uses, he's a money manager. They're a broker that direct registers shares automatically for all their customers, and he showed that they, SEI, got information from the DTCC that there's a merger involved with Bed Bath & Beyond, or Butterfly, or whatever you want to call it now. And then my roommate and I were discussing last night after Overstock decided to no longer be Overstock, but to be entirely Bed Bath & Beyond, or a company called Beyond. And they're going to be changing their ticker to BYOD, I think, and moving from the NASDAQ to the New York Stock Exchange on November 6th. And people are like, oh, neat. Okay, cool. All right. We got to think about this. All right. And this is what my roommate brought up. Why would a company that's a $1 billion company, it's been a successful .com for 20 plus years under the name Overstock, on a whim, right, buy the IP for a song 6 weeks after a company went bankrupt, and then decide to like make that their entire identity? I compared it to like a 7th grader listening to The Cure for the first time and then being like, oh, from this point forward, I'm going to be a goth. They're not a 7th grader. They're not a socially awkward dude who saw Drive and then bought a Scorpion jacket and all of a sudden became their entire identity, right? Like they are a very large $1 billion corporation, and suddenly they're taking what everyone's ever known, throwing it out the window, and becoming an entirely different brand. That isn't something you just sort of like go, you just do, right? You don't see April 23rd like, huh, Bed Bath & Beyond's going bankrupt. Maybe we should change our entire identity. No, this is something that's planned years in advance. Like 2-3 years ago, they're like, something's going to happen with Bed Bath & Beyond, and we're chit-chatting with our billionaire friends, and we're going to do something awesome with it. And this is them playing their part, doing their role in that whole thing. It frees up the BBBBY ticker. So if anyone wanted to, merge a company into some nulls and take the BBBY ticker for bye baby, they could do that now. They don't have to worry about Overstock or Beyond taking their ticker. They're moving to a completely different exchange. It's all cool, baby. So it's very, very weird. Very weird indeed. So much beard stroking is going to be going on for the next few weeks while we just try to figure out what's going on. Yeah. So there you go. Boogity boogity, shoogity boop. That one. Nope. Try again. That one.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Houston, we have a problem.
Alrighty. Mike, anything on your mind? Back there? No? Just staring at me? Okay. What's on your minds, folks? What's crack-a-lacking in your world? What are you thinking about? Lay it on me. Super chat already. Gotta do that one. Stephanie L. Hi there. Think Chase is a safe bank to put our MOAS earnings in, being that they are telling people to bounce because of high-risk issues. JP Morgan has 4,000 plus hedge funds that they lend to. My guess is that anybody who has lent to a hedge fund in the past 40 years is going to be in trouble. I don't know where things will be safe at all if a MOAS hits. My guess is that some of the big banks will get bailed out by the federal government. Others will be allowed to be consumed by those banks with that bailout money. Regional banks were going to get vaporized like nobody's business, just based entirely upon bonds and local real estate. They're just going to get vaporized left and right. Just like, pew, 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 just gone. So we may only have big banks surviving. Now, when the dust is settled, they should take those big banks and smash them into 1,000 pieces and have it start all over again. Hello, kitten. Hello, kitten. Well, fine, ditch me. Whatever. What was I talking about? It's not the kitten. My brain just erased. Like an Etch-a-Sketch. Oh yeah, banks. I would assume Chase is going to be one of the banks bailed out because they're the darlings of the Federal Reserve. Even though they make terrible decisions, deposits are way down, and they've got liability of 4,000 plus hedge funds underneath them. They're likely going to be bailed out. So, just trust the FDIC insurance and spread your money amongst a whole bunch of different accounts, all insured at $250,000. So that would be my advice, even though I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. Okay. Excuse me. RVing happens. Woo! Party of one. Coffee Donuts and Homer. Booyah. Happy hump day, you dirty apes. Tyler Wynn, any news? Like official news? No. We've got SEI saying it's a merger. We've got Beyond becoming a thing and Overstock no longer being a thing. Like if you go to overstock.com, it just takes you to Bed Bath & Beyond. You try to go through any link for Overstock, it takes you to Bed Bath & Beyond. They have rebranded. Overstock ceases to be, no longer exists, and it's now Bed Bath & Beyond. I'm very interested I find it interesting that Overstock / Bed Bath & Beyond does not want any brick and mortar. Because, to me, a lot of what's sold at Bed Bath & Beyond is kind of I need to get it this afternoon, or I want to touch it to know what it's like type products. You move into a new apartment or a new dorm room and you're like, shit, I don't have a toothbrush holder. You're not going to order online and wait 2 days for a toothbrush holder. You're just going to go down to the store, get your bath mat, get your toothbrush holder, get your shower curtain. You're going to have those things for your house tonight so you can just hit the ground running. I think it's interesting that they're not going that route, like having a best of both worlds. Maybe that might change. They may pick up leases at some point and have some brick and mortar. But just like so much of those type of purchases I've only ever made in person. I've had no interest in buying them on. Like, I don't want to get a bedspread online because it might feel weird, right? Like, I don't want that touching my skin because it's just a weird texture. I want to touch it. I want to know what it's like. I want to know if the towel is actually soft, if it really is 6 feet long like they promise, things like that. So a lot of those purchases are just done by vibe, baby. They're just like, I'm vibing with this thing. So we'll see where it goes from there. But, them's the boss now. Kelly Reed, happy birthday season. Reports suggest that retirees appear to be heading back to work as inflation eats savings. Future generations likely may not get retirement. Thoughts? Yeah. We don't have pensions in this country. I mean, 8% of the population has pensions? How much of the population has pensions? What percent of workers have pensions? I want 401ks. I want pensions, dude. Tell me about pensions. No, I don't want the 401ks. Don't give me the 401k crap. Give me an actual pension. You stupid data. 2008, only 20% of workers had pensions, and it's falling. So my guess is less than that now. 2023, 19%. 19% of employees have a pension plan. And probably most of those are state and federal workers, state, federal, county workers, and maybe a few union people. So everyone else is stuck on 401ks that are at the whims of the market. So yeah, the only way you're going to retire, I think, is a lot of tickets. So 1 in 180 million of us, that's who's going to retire after this. Yeah. Isn't it great? Like, you work for 50 years, then you're like, oh, I'm going to retire. And then you go look at your, like, Social Security and your annuities from your investments. And you're like, oh, I guess I'm going to become a Walmart greeter. Or pass burgers through a window at McDonald's. Cool. Yay, America. Martin Coyle, eToro is deleting my shares. Hey, welcome to the club. Mike Kemper. DTCC had issues today. Could not trade options this morning. I'm wondering if they got hacked because they were having issues yesterday. So, you know, it's what are you sending me? What are you sending me? Anything important? Anything cutting edge? I guess the name change has finally been published by Kirkland Ellis. Okay. All right. I mean, it's about time. It's been a month. Mr. Lasuna, Houston. In T212, I can't generate a confirmation of holding for last Thursday regarding share disappearance. Have you heard about this happening to anyone else? Feel free to chime in, people in chat. I don't know what's going on with overseas brokerages that hold American stocks. It seems like German brokerages have stuff from the Frankfurt Exchange, but a lot of folks who use trading apps in the UK, I think they are buying via proxy. So their shares are held in some account in the United States, and then like digitally they're like, those are your shares. Beyond that, I don't know what could be going on. Call and have a hissy fit. Call and bring out your inner Karen and have a hissy fit with someone on the phone until they can tell you that if there's going to be equity distribution, you are the shareholder of record. Make that clear and just be annoying as hell until they finally like give you what you want. That's how the world goes around. Karens make things happen, right? Orange Cat, what's happening over there, buddy? Huh? What's happening? Just gonna stand there in the corner and just stare at me? Okay. Daniel Motes, Houston, hi birthday. Is holding my savings in Fidelity Cash a better idea than having savings in Wells Fargo? I mean, you're insured up to $250 in Wells Fargo via FDIC, and I think you're insured up to 500,000 holdings in your brokerage account. But I think Fidelity actually goes higher than that because they bought outside insurance to guarantee people's accounts. So I think theirs is higher. You got federal insurance is 500,000, and then whatever outside insurance they bought is more than that. So, you know, as long as it's not more than 250, you're okay in the bank. If it's more than 250 in the bank, get multiple bank accounts. Justin G, Mike Portnoy rejoining Dream Theater. I don't know what any of that means. Oh, band. Okay. All right. There you go. There you go. Okay. All right. Oh, what happened to Mike Mangini? Who knows? Okay. Kelly Houston, do you think we will get our attendees when the economy crashes? Will MOAS happen? Your thoughts? Yes. MOAS happens when either the liabilities get larger than the standing collateral, which is what was happening in January 2001. The liabilities are going through the roof. Collateral wasn't really changing, but the liabilities all of a sudden went from their 30 to 1 to 50 to 1 to 100 to 1 to 1,000 to 1. And that was about to kick off a massive domino effect across the entire financial industry. They held that off, which is probably the biggest mistake they could have ever made. They should have just let us get our $1,000 a share, been happy with our chicken feed, and move on. Because now we're determined and angry and pissed off, and we're going to hold for much higher than $1,000. Or the economy does so poorly that collateral shrinks, and as a result, the liabilities appear gigantic. You know, it's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, right? The blades of grass didn't change in size. The people did, right? So you know, you can be a powerful human. I walk and smash things, but if you're smaller than all the things you normally smash, well, you're no longer a powerful human, and that's where the hedge funds are going to have their problems. So either the liabilities skyrocket and the collateral is worthless as a result, or the collateral becomes worthless, and in appearance, it appears as though the liabilities are flying through the roof. So either way, we get our feed, right? Right, kitty? Right, buddy? Yeah, welcome. Mike Kemper, my broker, TradeStation, blamed it on DTCC. That's what the consensus has been. The DTCC basically did some sort of recall. And my guess is they did a recall based on information they received from the transfer agent. And they're just now in a holding pattern. Just holding over the airport. They can't land until they're given the go-ahead by the company itself. So we're just going to be burning fuel and having ourselves a Die Hard 2 moment. Leo B. Houston, is Rosa's case appeal in Florida court still ongoing? I know she's been super busy getting other things, but I'm wondering if that case is still open. Thanks. I've not gotten an update from her on that. She has been in England for the past week or two. She's had a bunch of casework to do, and I think she's stressed beyond belief over what's happening between Israel and Gaza at the moment. She's got a ton of family over there, and I think she's just, you know, she's trying to prioritize things in her life at the moment, and being able to come on the show and chit chat is not one of those things. So when she's got, you know, when her brain space is free and clear and she's got a moment, we'll gladly take her back on the show and we'll find out what's going on. But until then, you know, it's got to give her space and let her navigate her life, because her life is busy and stressful. So, you know, we'll bring her on when we can. I have no updates otherwise. I have not seen anything in the dockets. I don't know what's going on. Usually appeals take a long time. They take like a year before the court has time to even bring them in. So it can be a while. Scott Powell in Houston. I have also a series of bad experiences with boomer age people in the last few days. Super nasty stuff that senile people do. You're 15 to 20 years older than me. What was it like for you to grow up with the older generation taking opportunities away? Was it overt or covert? I mean, growing up, we were latchkey kids. Our parents were always working, so we'd come home and like have to fix ourselves lunch and oftentimes dinner. We kind of wandered the neighborhood with impunity because everyone else was working, no one was around. I don't know if it was. I would say it's the individual boomers who did the taking of things, but more so the collective boomers who ran things. Right? They got theirs. They got their cheap college. They got their pensions. They got their ever-growing market. And then they're like, no one else gets this. We're turning over a new leaf. We figured out how to offshore money. We figured out how to increase executive pay and lower worker pay while forcing them to produce like 3 times as much as we ever did when we were in that position. And it became a culture of vultures. Vulture culture. And those folks are screwing over the boomers just as much as anybody, right? Like, we have boomers of retirement age in Congress right now who basically want to eliminate Social Security so that the boomers who are retiring have nothing to live off of. But the boomers who are retiring keep voting for the guys who are going to take all the money away from them. The money they've been paying into for 40, 50 years. So it's voting for a leopard eat your face party, and then the leopard's eating your face, and you go, whoa, why? And then you take it out on us. Like that's that's what's been happening. Yeah, it's a lot. I got mine, and now they're gonna lose theirs, and now they're gonna try and blame us for avocado toast or something. My Social Security's gone because you kept buying a latte. No, buddy. Social Security's gone because you kept voting for the guy who promised to take away your Social Security. So, like, you've got these people in Florida, right? The farmers who voted for DeSantis, and DeSantis was promising to basically get rid of all the migrant workers in the state, right? The farmers depend upon migrant workers. They cannot produce any of their goods because like 96% of the farm workforce are migrant workers. And all the migrant workers left after DeSantis followed through on his promise. And you got video footage of these farmers at town halls being like, well, I never thought he would actually do it. Buddy, he's been promising it to you. He did it. Like, what were you thinking was going to happen? You now have no livelihood. Ta-da! You voted for the leopard eating your face off, and the leopard ate your face off. Good job. Way to go. So there's a lot of folks who seem to vote for people because they think they actually aren't going to do what they promise they're going to do. And then they do what they promise they're going to do, and they're like, whoa, why'd they do that? Because that was the platform they ran on, man. Like, there's a lot of promises that we get that never happen because we don't have enough majority. Like, people campaign on universal health care. They campaign on making rich people pay into Social Security or stuff like that. But there's just not enough votes for them to get done. But if they had the votes, they would definitely do it. In this case, in these states, they overwhelmingly approved legislatures and executive branches that can follow through on the promises being made. And then they're like all mad that they did their promises. Like, you enabled it. So I don't tell you. It's, yeah. Meow meow. If you disregard Reagan's fiscal, social, domestic, and foreign policies, he could very well be the greatest president of all time. This job would be great if it wasn't for the customers. Nothing like running the presidency via your wife's astrologist. Okay. Derek Horse, give me the loaf, no more breadcrumbs. I know, maybe we can like save our breadcrumbs and reconstitute a loaf out of it. I don't know. C, the more I think about it, hedge funds are the mobs. I mean, there is a connection between hedge funds and the mafia. Google search it. A lot of the mafia, you know, they start small. They start with petty crimes, protection rackets, you know, gun running, drug running, bootlegging, whatever. Like that's where they got their start. And when you collect enough capital, you're like, well, compounding, right? You don't need to go door to door forcing the baker and the butcher to pay you protection money else you're going to smash out their windows. You now have a huge nest egg and you're going to make that money work for itself. So the mafias quite literally moved into private equity because they had huge amounts of cash and you do something with it. You've got money managers, you got all these hedge funds that court criminals, warlords, mafia, drug runners, you know, despots. Like, they court these guys to take their money because they need to put it somewhere. And it's easier for them to put it into a hedge fund as a hard currency play than it is to, like, stick in their mattresses in their palace. So they give money to guys like Doug Sifu, to guys like Ken Griffin, to guys like Steve Cohen. Those dudes, their client list includes these vagabonds. And so if they aren't mafia themselves, they're now beholden to mafia managing their money. So there's a lot of ties to mafia action, organized crime, and private equity. Look it up. I mean, Solomon Brothers were deep into it. They were small when they became Solomon Smith Barney. They were part of the groups that were shorting stocks of companies they were IPOing. They were the sponsors for the IPO, the underwriters, and they were shorting the stocks before the company even sold their first share. So the stock price would just crash immediately. So they were part of a racket doing just that. Eagle was it EagleTech.com What was the one that was like the original VoIP, voice over IP? Should have been huge. And they shorted that stock before it even existed, and was all Mafia ties, is what investigators found. So, they're the mob. That's what they are. And the SEC and the FBI should treat them that way. That they got their start in organized crime, and they're doing organized crime pretty much all the time. And they shouldn't be treated as just like white collar criminals, because these are the grandsons of the dudes who were shaking down the local deli for protection money. So here we are, doing our part, twiddling our thumbs. Okay. Daniel Batchelor, Bank of America on life support. We've been noticing the debt decline for years now. They are clinging on for dear life. Yesterday they filed to basically get rid of their hedge fund lending program through Merrill Lynch. They're like, yeah, we don't even want to give these guys anymore. And they're probably so over leveraged. They've been probably giving out trillions of dollars to hedge funds working under Merrill Lynch. And now they know that if any one of those hedge funds get into trouble, they do not have the cash on hand to take care of it. And so they're cutting that cord now, hoping, praying that they survive. But I think their entire survival is going to depend upon the benevolence of the Federal Reserve at that point. Who knows if the Federal Reserve's like, we can let another investment bank go under. We don't give a shit. Because we've got three right now. We've got Merrill Lynch, JP Morgan, and Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs is the last independent investment bank. JP Morgan and Merrill Lynch are now under the Chase and Bank of America umbrella. We used to have dozens of investment banks. Dozens of them. And they've been just steadily blinking out of existence based upon making horrible plays associated with hedge funds every single time. So the hedge fund racket really, really, really screws everything up. Orange Kitty, want to go up here? Yeah? Orange Kitty, hello. Hello. Nope. Monkey, no. Meow. Monkey, leave the orange kitty alone. Leave the orange kitty alone. Leave the orange kitty, monkey. Hey, leave the orange kitty alone. I know it hisses at you. Leave it alone. Don't do that. Okay. Well, we tried. Tried to have the Halloween cats snuggle each other, but Monkey ruined that. Hey, get your ass back in here. Don't antagonize. I know the cat hisses at you constantly, but it's because you do shit like that. Yeah. It's your fault at this point, because you're like, I'm gonna poke my nose in it, yeah, and then it hisses at you, and then you get offended. So, yeah, learn your lesson. Okay, well, what was I talking about? I don't remember. Bank of America dying. Derek Carhorse, baguette. We don't get a baguette yet, Derek. We get crumbs. You know that. I know that. Kelly Reed. Gianni, an economist at Citi, said surveys were already pointing to the Eurozone economy contracting by up to 0.3% in 3 months to September. Oh yeah, Eurozone is definitely going to contract. That's guaranteed. UK is going to contract way more than that because they left the Eurozone and they're on their own and they're like, oh crap, we're an island. So, like, you poor bastards in the UK. I bet in 10 years we'll see like mail order bride websites for UK women to get the hell out of Great Britain. There's like 16 ladies named Peppa on here. Belgian whale 23rd. Scott Pollen. Are we entering a new paradigm where the largest and wealthiest part of the country is entering senility? Yeah. I mean, if you look at data, right, the amount of folks who are expected to come down with things like prefrontal dementia, Alzheimer's, degenerative, what do you call it? Nervous system degenerative nervous system diseases. Basically, the math points to like everyone is either going to have dementia or be treating someone who has dementia, and that's just the way it is. Now, we might come up with some ways to like scrape the plaque off of brains and get people to work a little better, a little longer. But it's not looking good. Not looking good. So get those powers of attorney ready for your senile parents, because someone's going to take care of them. And hopefully they weren't such assholes to you that you will actually bother taking care of them, because a lot of folks were like, I'm never talking to my parents again. And that's a large swath of population. Hopefully you're not a member of that part of the population. Danny Batchelor. If silver or gold run up, Bank of America dies a violent death on their short. Also true. And why would you short silver and gold ahead of an economic collapse? That's just the dumbest thing you could possibly do. That would be like you've got, I don't know, the Miami Dolphins versus an elementary school team, and you're betting on the elementary school team. Why would you do that? Why, if you had a whole bunch of grandmothers who got new hips playing Real Madrid, would you bet on the grandmothers who got new hips? Like, some things are guaranteed. The economy drops, gold goes up. Done. That happens every single time the economy drops since there's been gold in an economy. So, yeah, whoever at Bank of America made that play is the dumbest person to have ever worked in finance. Meow meow, don't want dementia? Then stay away from cheeseburgers. Well, guess I'm getting, I would rather have dementia than not have cheeseburgers. Nom 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 nom. Okay. It's Liddy. Hello, Houston. Or Henlo, Houston. And chat, here for that Wagyu steak, man. Let's fucking go. I want to try it someday. My mouth is already watering at the potential of it, because there's very few first experiences left, right? Of like elite things. I remember the first time I had a filet mignon. I was 16 and it melted my brain. I did not know steak could taste like that, because my entire childhood, my mother would get whatever steak was on sale, cook it to shoe leather, and that's what we ate. And so I never bothered ordering a steak in a restaurant, because I was like, well, stuff's tough as shit to cut and whatever. And a rich family friend was like, get the filet mignon, boy. And I was like, okay, I don't know what that is. And Clay's like, how do you want it cooked? I was like, I don't know. He's like, he wants a medium rare. So I was like, medium rare. And out came the steak. It smelled delicious. And I put my knife to it and it just went, ugh. And I ate it. And regions of my mind were unlocked. I felt like I was Star Child from 2001 Space Odyssey, like uncovering the mysteries of the universe. Only a few times in my life have I had an unlocking of my mind through flavor like that. And I'm hoping that my first experience with an A5 Wagyu will do something similar. It will just peel back the layers and I will know, the truth of the universe. So let's get it. Come on, Bed Bath & Beyond, Butterfly, whatever. Unlock the truth of the universe for me. Kelly Reed, she said the further drop in October now suggests a similar, if not deeper, decline in fourth quarter. Forecast a Eurozone recession, which has likely already started or will begin start of 2024. I mean, it doesn't help that last year they had to devote so much GDP into building ports that can handle liquid natural gas, they can keep people warm, and then buying gas at inflated prices at the beginning of the fourth quarter last year. Granted, gas prices are now down; they're fine that way. But that was a lot of lost capital devoted to making sure people didn't freeze to death in their homes, and now you have just global markets in general kind of stagnating. You got to spend a bunch of capital on ensuring that Ukraine can stave off Russia, because you don't want it to deal with all of a sudden Russia on your borders doing the same thing they did to Ukraine, because that really gets expensive. You have refugee crises coming from all over, from North Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, Middle East, you name it. Ukraine, millions of people suddenly displaced. Poland apparently has done a pretty great job assimilating Ukrainian refugees into the country. Who knows how many of them will stay and how many will go back to Ukraine when all is clear. But there's a displacement of a lot of people, and that poses all sorts of problems. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt, if we get ourselves a recession in the EU, and that probably predates a recession coming in the US. I wouldn't doubt China's technically in a recession right now, but they juke the stats, so you'll never know until like all of a sudden images come out of like entire towns starving to death, like during the Cultural Revolution. So, yeah. Scott Pollen, extreme stuff like Outbursts at the restaurant, because we were talking about the postgraduate school job market. That also happens. I've noticed working in restaurants that there's a certain segment of the older generation that it gets real hangry. They must be super hypoglycemic at that age or something, or blood sugar's crashing. I have no idea, and they cannot be reasoned with. They need a Snickers, and the number of old people I've had to like 86 from restaurants over the years is surprising. Like you'd think it'd be some drunk asshole, but sometimes it's just an old guy who can't keep his shit together because he's just so angry at everything. It's like, buddy, chill out. If you just hang there, we'll get a table ready for you, but you're freaking the fuck out, so leave. And then I'm going to report you to the authorities. Like, go for it. I'm sure the authorities will be like, get out of here. It happens. It happens quite a bit. Yeah. when I was in high school, I bagged groceries at the grocery store, and I came to this weird truth: was the only old ladies, like we're talking old ladies, that you would see at the grocery store were mean as hell. That's it. There only existed really, really bitter, mean old ladies. It's not saying that all old ladies are bitter and mean. I'm saying that the old ladies who go grocery shopping by themselves are bitter and mean. Because the ones who weren't bitter and mean, they had family to take care of them. They were, someone else did the shopping for them at that point in their life. They didn't have to go out and go shopping by themselves. The bitter and mean ones, cruel as shit, they either didn't have kids, or they have kids who hate their guts and don't want to help them in any way, shape, or form. And so they're out there just being bitter and alone and mean as hell to everybody they possibly could. I remember this old lady, Bonnie. She would come in the grocery store every single night. Every night at like 9 p.m., she'd buy an entire rotisserie chicken and a 4-pack of toilet paper. Every night for years. And I was wondering, like, is she like making a recording studio with all this toilet paper? Like, what is going on? But yeah, one rotisserie chicken and a 4-pack of toilet paper. That's what Bonnie lived off of for years. And one time, you bag her groceries. She'd be like, "Fuck you, you little piece of shit." I'm like, what I do? I'm just bagging her groceries. And she was mean as hell. She would just berate you, whatever. And so Thanksgiving's coming. It is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, the busiest shopping day at a grocery store there can be. Like nuts, lines going, 50 carts long, people waiting to go to the check stand. And Bonnie is demanding help. So I get called over, and she's trying to get a 35-pound frozen turkey into her cart. This is a lady who's maybe 4'10", 75 pounds. She cannot lift a 35-pound turkey. And I'm like, hey, I'm a dumb 17-year-old, but Thanksgiving's tomorrow. There's no way that this 35-pound turkey will be defrosted in time for you to cook it. Fuck you miserable cunt. I don't have to listen to you, you stupid idiot. I know what I'm doing. I'm 105 years old. Blah. And I'm like, all right. So I lift this gigantic frozen turkey into her cart. She finally makes it to the check stand with her frozen turkey, a rotisserie chicken, and a 4-pack of toilet paper. And then I take her groceries out. She's telling me I'm a miserable son of a bitch the entire time. And get to her little Honda Civic hatchback, lift the hatch. I take this giant 35-pound frozen turkey, put it into her cart, or into her car, and everything else. And then, have fun, Bonnie, eating a 35-pound frozen turkey by herself. The next time I bag her groceries is like a week later. I get her chicken, her 4-pack of toilet paper, go out. She's telling me what a miserable, horrible human being I am the entire time. I don't need your help. Blah, 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 blah. Get to her car, and there is this water balloon of bacteria that was a 35-pound frozen turkey. It's now this gelatinous, squishy, decaying methane ball in the back of her car because she was never strong enough to get the stupid turkey out of her car in the first place. So I take this thing out of her car without telling her and then throw that shit away. I'm so thankful it did not break or explode on me that entire time, because I don't think I would think I would still have that stink on me and salmonella poisoning that would never go away. But man, they were always so mean every single time. You know, you'd see an old lady with like her family that come shopping, just sweet as can be. But those ones who are alone, oh, they're so mean. So awful. Anyway. And that was the greatest generation being horrible shit to me. So I think it's, just comes with age. The filter disappears and the family pulls away. Oh, Livecast 373 should be 374, my friend. Oh my goodness, we should edit that because the last one was 374, wasn't it? Boop, boop. Save. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Philip. Oh, you won. Scott Pollen. Boomers are now at the don't give a fuck age where they just say all the nasty things they think and are really unhinged. I mean, kinda. Some of them could be doing things like enjoying their lives, but some choose to make your life miserable, and that's how maybe they find their enjoyment. Jesse G, love your show. Go back on PP. I'll probably go back on PP one of these days. We'll head back there. Probably not this week, though. We'll find out. Scott Paul, I feel like the stock market going down, housing market going down, is going to make boomers even more extreme in their outbursts. Fixed income, squeeze, etc. Well, then you had stress piled onto all that stuff, right? We saw people of retirement age, what 2008 did to them. Their 401ks just vaporized, just disappeared entirely because they didn't necessarily have pensions that had guaranteed annuities. Their home values, which was a large portion of their net worth, evaporated. So, you bought this home for $300,000. At one point, it was worth $600,000. Now it's worth $250,000. Uh-oh, I'm now underwater. I can't get home equity. I can't do the little things I need to maintain my quality of life. A lot of folks are gonna feel a pinch in this one, and I hope, as a nation, as a global community, we figure out a way to overhaul how we do the financial services sector so that we don't have these boom and bust cycles anymore. Granted, we did figure it out 70 years ago. You manage the economy. You do Keynesian economics. You little tweaks here and there. Make sure when the economy's going down, you do government programs, get people to work. But you regulate banks. You make sure banks aren't playing the stock market. You make sure that people aren't manipulating stocks. But we're leaving that. We've been voting for people who rally against regulation. Regulation costs so much money, and then they peel back these regulations that protect us for a quick buck for a bunch of assholes. Because those assholes making a quick buck is better than 300 million people having a nice living standard. And hopefully we figure out that we can gradually grow the economy slow and steady, just like a Vanguard fund, over time via regulation, rather than go through boom and bust, boom and bust, boom and bust. It's great when things are booming, like, woohoo, this is the best thing in the entire world, I'm a genius. And then it busts, and you're like, oh, I need a government handout. It will save us time, energy, money, capital, sanity, to just not be morons. But that's asking a lot out of Americans, because most Americans are mostly stupid. So there you go. Leaders of the free world, folks. And half of us are dumbasses. Tyler Win Moon. Tomorrow? Friday? I don't know, somewhere in there. Phil Clayton. Hey, Houston. Science question. Do you know what is the weight of the Earth, and is half of this weight solely Ryan Cohn's enormous balls? Earth's what? Like 10 to the 30th kilograms? And yeah, I would assume that Ryan Cohen's balls figure heavily into the calculation of the mass of the Earth. Tyler Wynn feels like this is going to be forever. I know. It's just... Kevin Kelly Reed, my brother is big on REITs, and I keep trying to educate him, but he's in one that just paid off debt and thinks it's big news. Think that they will not be worthwhile. Can you give him a reality check, please? The simplest reality check for REITs is 20% of all commercial real estate is empty. Another 20% have not paid their rent in a year. So that means 40%. 2 fingers out of 5 are not generating any income for real estate investment trusts. On top of that, right? Bonds are crazy expensive. Those commercial real estate's now worth less than any of those REITs paid for it. We have a giant bust happening in the vacation rental market. So housing markets are going to be weird as all these vacation renters who were doing short-term rentals, hoping to make cajillions of dollars a month, now have to go into the long-term rental market, hoping to pay off their mortgages, but will discover that they're underwater on their mortgage payment because rental prices, as all these homes enter the rental market, become less and less. And you got a $3,000 a month mortgage, you can make $1,500 a month on your rent. That's not going to pay the bills. So these folks are going to find themselves bleeding capital, losing their savings, trying to hang on to this house. It's now probably going to be underwater because as more of these homes become unsuccessful long-term rentals, they're going to start being short sold. So there'll be short sales all over the place. They'll be getting foreclosed on. And we're going to start to see the market fill up with a whole bunch of homes that were purchased over the last 5 years, specifically on speculation for short-term rentals, entering the market again as sales from banks and short sales from real estate investment trusts, from individuals. And with 8% or more interest rates, there's going to be no one to buy those homes. So the price on those things are going to drop even further. You're going to have a flood of the market, and they're going to drop because there are no buyers, because no one wants to go out of their way and pay 8% on a home. Like, we did the math a few weeks ago, and at like 7%, a $600,000 house in 2021, now it's the same mortgage as like a $370,000 house now. So at 8%, it's probably like half. So if you buy your home for $600,000 and your interest rate's crazy high and you're not having the vacation rentals you thought you did, you're going to try and sell that house for $600,000, but you're only able to find buyers that can afford $300,000. So you are going to start losing money on that place. I doubt we're going to see heavy buying from BlackRock until prices drop again. They're probably done buying houses until prices drop. They may have to shed a whole bunch of the homes they bought anyway, because now the rental market won't be able to sustain positive cash flow for the homes they bought. Plus, you got to think about the maintenance. Maintenance on 1 million homes is crazy. Like, how many subcontractors do you require to make sure those homes are great? And if you have one subcontractor that does a shit job, doesn't mow the lawns, doesn't fix the door frames, doesn't make sure the flooding problems don't happen, and you lose 10,000 homes in one market because these guys suck at their job. Okay, now you're underwater on tens of millions of dollars and hundreds of millions of dollars in real estate. Maybe even billions. You could lose $1 billion in real estate right there. That's not going to put the pressure on everything else, because now you got a whole bunch of junk homes you don't want to spend, $100 million fixing. If you're in a REIT, get the hell out now. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but I would not want to be anywhere near a REIT at the moment. Let's Liddy. Sometimes all we got is hope and dreams, especially if you're poor like me. The ramen noodle class. First name, last name, Houston. What are some of your favorite fast food items? Cheesy gordita crunch, filet of fish, Wendy's chill, and Domino's chicken carbonara pasta are some of mine. Have a great show. I like burritos. We have a local burrito shop, Megalitos, makes a fantastic burrito. So I like those. If I'm going to get a fast food burger, probably a Whopper. A double Whopper with cheese and bacon. That's probably my fast food go-to if I can for a burger. I don't really have, we don't have others. Like, I've got to go to the next town to get a Whopper because we have a McDonald's here, and McDonald's burgers are McDonald's burgers. McDonald's fries are great, but McDonald's burgers are like meh. It exists. There's nothing special about them. They taste like frozen patties in a microwave, but whatever. On road trips, I do like chocolate chip pancakes, so I will hit an IHOP up on a road trip. I don't know where the nearest IHOP is around here. Probably like in Silverdale, so like 30, 40 miles away. But I like chocolate chip things. I love destroying my pancreas. What other fast food places I visited? I mean, we just don't have them. So like, I'm so out of the loop. And I've been to like a Jack in the Box before. Underwhelming. I've been to a Wendy's. It's all right. I've been to. We have a Sonic not too far away. Their burgers are meh, but everyone likes the little shave ice stuff they put into the soft drinks, and that's enjoyable. Monkey Butt loves the Sonic guys because they always bring your treats. In and out. We don't have any In-N-Outs up here, but I've been there a bunch of times down south. Been to Fat Burger. That was tasty. We don't have any like fast food pizza joints like Pizza Hut or Domino's or Godfather's or whatever. Little Caesars. And I generally avoid them ever since I worked at Pizza Hut and gave myself salmonella. So I just can't do it. I can't do a Pizza Hut pizza probably ever again. The one that gave me salmonella was the last Pizza Hut pizza I may ever eat in my entire life. So, yeah. I should just do a series of Houston going to fast food places he's never been to before. Just next road trip, Monkey. That's what we'll do. We will stop by like a Panera Bread and Chipotle. And like I've never been to like an Applebee's, or I've never been to Cheesecake Factory, or I went to Sizzler. I think the last time I went to a Sizzler, I was like in 8th grade. I was like 10 years old. So I have no idea what that's like today. I've never been to Outback Steakhouse. I've never been to Olive Garden. I have no idea what unlimited breast sticks are like at Olive Garden. I've never been there. So I'm quite ignorant when it comes to options of chain restaurants because we just don't have them here. The city's gone specifically out of its way to ban chain restaurants in my community. And the two that got under the wire were Subway and McDonald's. So there you go. Then a super chat. Meow meow. Do you think Elon Musk's plans to go to the moon might be proof it's not possible to go there? The thing is that Elon Musk doesn't really care about the moon. He wants to go to Mars. To him, the moon's just like, yeah, fine, we'll go to the moon, whatever. It's Jeff Bezos who wants to go to the moon. And Jeff Bezos, when he wants to do something, he does it. And so, yes, that alone is enough to show that the moon is worth something. And the fact that Elon doesn't see any value in the moon is enough to show just how valuable the moon is. Meow meow. Crystal, best fast food ever. Have you ever had their chili cheese pups? I don't know what Crystal is at all. I've never even heard of Crystal. Crystal fast food. Crystal fast food chain. Crystal Restaurants. American regional fast food restaurant chain headquartered in Dunwoody, Georgia. Restaurants in the southeast United States and Puerto Rico. It's known for small square hamburgers called sliders in places other than the southeast with steamed-in onions. Founded in Chattanooga, Tennessee in 1932. They got 360 locations. I have never been to one. I've never been to a Waffle House. So, there you go. We've entered the wall of ignorance of Houston, which is fast food joints that aren't around here. But noted, meow meow. Crystal, best fast food ever. Okay. When I go to the southeast, I will seek one of those out. It's been a long time since I've been to the southeast. Hillary, Bank of Canada to hold overnight rates at 5%. Your guys' thoughts? They're dreaming, man. They're dreaming. All that will cause is some further inflation, and then they'll get stagflation zone because the economy's going to collapse regardless. Japan apparently flooded the market with yen as they bought out a whole bunch of their bonds. So, got that happening. MNEF. Paid shills, I understand. What the fuck are the non-paid shills going on about? Are they all Doug Sifu alt accounts? I doubt most shill accounts are unpaid. I mean, there's probably a few that just like being bullies and they get off on that. But most of them are probably shorts themselves, bots paid by shorts, or troll farms paid to troll. Because they say the same things over and over and over. I'll bet you $10,000. I'll give you 10 to 1 odds. We can hold it in escrow. And then all of a sudden, when that doesn't work, they start throwing out the shrink language, like, you know, the weaponized therapist speak. You know, what I'm really worried about is your mental well-being in all of this. I have a feeling that you might be suffering from hallucinations and, you know, delusions of grandeur. And they'll just start throwing out all this therapist speak. And when that doesn't work, then they just get abusive. And like, okay, I mean, you're going through your steps here on what's on your card. I think a lot of them are the same account over and over again, doing the same thing over and over again. Because, you know, open up 30 Reddit accounts to have the same conversation over and over again and then comment to yourself, which has happened quite a bit, is that, you know, one guy will post like, you guys are a bunch of idiots. Well, you lost all your money, give up. And then underneath it's like, yeah, he's right. And it's the same account. And like, hey, buddy, you forgot to log into your alt account to do that one. Oops. So there's a lot of them out there. It's so much cheaper to pay a troll farm in the Philippines than it is to pay us what we're owed. So they're going to spend that money on the troll farm accounts, on the bot accounts, on you know, the articles from Market Watch or Motley Fool or Seeking Alpha to trash things, because it's, you know, paying a guy a couple $1,000s to write an article is cheaper than paying us a few $1 trillion, because that's where your liability lies. So expect to see it, and you'll see it all the way until they can't afford to pay those tabs anymore. It's Lady Houston. Do you know anything about CYXTQ? I heard that NVIDIA might have bought them out. CYXTQ. Is that Cyrix? CYXTQ. They still exist? Sykes-Terra. Oh, different company. Sykes-Terra. Looks like their stock price is frozen at 1/100th of a penny. So 1/10th of a penny. I know nothing. Found 2017, bankrupt already? Dang. I see no news. None. No news whatsoever. They're still launching AI and stuff as of a month ago. Despite being in the middle of chapter 11. Nope. I know nothing. Not a clue. Not a clue. Andrew Stewart, Houston, what is something you had a strong opinion on and later flipped sides based on new information? I mean, Bill Cosby was my surrogate dad growing up. My dad lived in Japan. I didn't get to see a dad a lot, and he was just who I idolized, and I couldn't get enough of him. I could not get enough Bill Cosby. I wanted to watch his show constantly. I watched the reruns. I watched every Thursday night at 8 p.m. when the Cosby Show came on. I had all his comedy albums. I had all his books. Flipped on that asshole the moment I heard about the dozens and dozens of women who came forward. He's a rapey piece of crap. I can't listen to his comedy albums. I have his books sitting in my bookshelf in the other room, and I won't ever crack them again. Yeah. So there you go. What else? Good. I try to think of something that I flipped on. He was like a middle schooler. As all middle schoolers don't understand how things work, I was probably a homophobic little asshole. Flipped on that when I realized, like, oh, these are human beings, and they have all the qualifications of humanity as everyone else. Let's see here. Monkey butt, help me out here. I'll think of some. There's others. There's probably others in there. Dark matter was something that I believed in, and then I started doing physics and astronomy as school and career, and I was like, this it doesn't make any sense. So there's something I flipped on. Yeah, there you go. First name, last name. Bets on Pulte canceling or delaying the meetup party. I'm going pretty low. I think Pulte made that date specifically because he has a special guest that will be appearing, and that's the date the special guest could do. And I would assume that special guest is Ryan Cohen. He made a tweet about talk to a friend the other day who sold his company for more than $1 billion. I wonder who he could be referring to that way. Who shares an attorney who sold a company recently for more than $1 billion? That's where I put my speculation station stamp right there. So that tells me we're going to be done with this crap by December 14th. So let's get done. Let's get done with it. I do not want to make whoever my new tax attorney is work really hard over Christmas. Let's get it done before then, so we can get that ball rolling. Ludicrous Speed. Happy birthday, Houston. Just sent you 3 invite codes on Reddit. Thank you so much. And start sending those invite codes in, and we can raffle them off for Charity Tuesday on Halloween next week. Yeah, send them my way. The easiest way is to copy and paste them and send them via a Reddit DM. It allows me to copy and paste it and put it into my file here. I've got the 3 you sent. Someone else sent one I haven't transferred over yet. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I've got 20. 19 to 20 right now. So I'm sure a whole bunch of you who have since gotten Blue Sky now have codes in your account. And you can send them my way, man. We will raffle those suckers off. Mathematically, we should have probably close to 60 to 100 if we do it right. And that might be enough to get everybody in the chat a Blue Sky code if needed, or everyone who donates or whatever. So, and there'll probably be a whole bunch of folks from the PP show who've never experienced a Charity Tuesday who get to see the wonders of giving. You guys will see just how amazing it is. Like whatever charity it is, I happen to select. Kitty cat, are you having an asthmatic attack? You okay, buddy? You're hurting? You all right? Oh, yes. The asthma cat has broken the dry heave circuit in my brain. So now if an animal starts dry heaving, I don't react at all. And they just go, I'm like, dang it. I got to clean that up. Or before, I'd throw them in the linoleum of the bathroom or whatever, and they would do their thing. But I did that with this cat 100 times, and nothing ever came out. And then found out it's asthma. It's him coughing. Okay. Joseph Lee, as half Korean American, I recommend you try Shin Ramen. I've never had Shin Ramen. Is Shin Ramen a type of ramen? Is Shin Ramen a ramen restaurant? Shin Ramen. Shin Ramen is a brand. Okay, Shin Ramen is a brand. I think, have I had one of these before? The label looks really familiar. I may have had one of the pot noodle ones before. Soft chewy noodle combined with spicy beef broth creates the perfect recipe that will please any palate. Okay, Shin Ramen it is, right, monkey? Shin Ramen. Word. Thank you, Joseph. It's Liddy, half Korean American here as well. Can confirm Shin Ramen. Okay, we got multiple folks confirming that here. Oh, you want some? You want some Shin Ramen? Do you? Now, is it luxury ramen? Because if I get the Manchurian or the top ramen, it's 29 cents a pack. Is this are we reaching dollar territory? It's one of those more ramens, it's $1.50, like rich people ramen. Cause I'm gonna have to wait for MOAS before I can dip my toes into ramen that costs more than $1. Monkey, hey, quit being a jerk. Let the cat exist. This is her home too. Okay? Come on. Come on. Let the cat exist. You don't have to constantly be I'm going to bother you mode. Right? Right? Okay. First name, last name. I prefer Samyang Boldak series. OMG, so good. Samyang Boldak. Samyang Boldak. I have never had those ones. Boldak. They also have a sauce. A little cartoon character on theirs. Boink. Samyang Boldak. So that's what theirs looks like. The spicy one? That's spicy. 2 times. So these look like spicy. Some spicy stuff. And the other ones are these guys. The Shin ramen. I may have had one of these in the past. It does look familiar. Or maybe I just seen it in the grocery store and I just never did anything about it. Okay. Jess G just started watching Scavenger's Reign, very interesting animated sci-fi that premiered on Max. Scavenger's Reign, never heard of it, but okay. Owen Saunders, hey pal. How long after MOAS should I leave it before investing in a Vanguard dividend funds or housing market? Also, would like to invest a cool million. Which would be the best option? Sears. Or Cheers. Sears. Well, when we've had big economic downturns, you know, the Dow drops. So we're like, shit's the fan, and then it starts dropping. So the shit truly hit the fan September 2008, right? And then we bottomed out March 2009. So that was September, October, November, December, January, February, March. So about 6 months, six and a half months. So I guess look at the Dow and assume that we might have a 6-month lead time between the shit in the fan and the Dow reaching its bottom. And that might be a great time to invest in a Vanguard. That is if the government is responding appropriately. If they're not responding appropriately, then we have a protracted recession, and you know the Dow continue to drop for years at that point. But Monkey Butt's like sitting. Monkey, leave the cat alone. Hey, leave the cat alone. She's like sitting in the hallway. So the cat, hey, Monkey, leave the cat alone. Leave her alone. Like sitting there to make sure that the cat like can't get by. She's just being a dick. Stop it. Stop being a dick. Stop being a dick. Go back over here. Come on, go over there. Go over there and like chew on your bone or whatever it is you're doing over there. Okay. But yeah, so if it plays out like at 2008, then yeah, wait 6 months or so and the Dow might be at absolute bottom and then start scooping up. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but that's probably something I would be doing. I would also, I mean, MOAS happens, the SPY is going to drop for quite a while. So I will probably immediately invest in puts, not only on the stocks that were flying high. Like if you can get puts on the meme stocks when they're like $1 gajillion, you can make a bunch of money as they return back to normal. But also just puts on the SPY because they're going to be liquidating blue chips and the SPY is going to take a hit from that. So yeah, you can Michael Burry that thing and get SPY puts all day long. Set out for a year or something in the future and they'll just be like printing money at that point. So yeah, those are probably things that I'll be looking at. And then just investing a cool million in something. I mean, right now $1 million would net me 4 million shares of No Labs. That'd be pretty sweet. So something like that. I'd be throwing money into all the stocks I always wanted to have at that point and go from there. Reset the chat. Dang it. Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? Man, am I still way back here? Oh my gosh, I'm so far behind. Okay. Way before that. Way before that. Way before that. Way before that. Oh my gosh. Okay, there's that one. Okay. And on Sandra's question, Walker Rats, anybody getting in on Toys R Us? I'm not. Because the Toys R Us stock isn't associated with Toys R Us here that's happening in the US. That's wholly owned by Macy's. Likely Carl Icahn still has a piece of it because Carl Icahn was part of the bankruptcy play that Toys R Us did in the United States in 2018, 17, somewhere in there. Yeah. So that stock does not represent the actual Toys R Us that exists. I think that's the Canadian Toys R Us, isn't it? Toy RF. First and last name, I made my Mayu black garlic oil for ramen. Jesus, that takes things to another dimension. Black garlic oil is delicious. The pizza place where my friend's pizza place that I work in did a spicy black garlic sauce to put on one of the pizzas, and it was like smoky and amazing. Yeah, I highly recommend. Highly recommend. Dr. G78, or is it DR G78? Houston, can you give any guidance to actually win a bid on high bid auctions? The jewelry is gorgeous, but no idea how to actually win. It's like bids are too low for them. Thanks. I never bid on auctions that have minimum prices. So if you go, we can talk our way through a high bid auction. Why not? All right, highbid.com. So highbid. This is a collection, and during COVID, the number of auction houses that use them exploded because they couldn't do in-person auctions. So now a lot of them do almost entirely online through highbid, and these are all little auction houses, little auction houses that might be in each county across America. You know, like big auction houses like James G. Murphy here in Seattle is a huge auction house. They use highbid. It's a platform. And you sign up as an auction house, and you can just put all of your inventory and then now cater to an international audience. There'll be lots of jewelry and gemstones, you know, all sorts of cars, boats, you name it, because they're selling everything. It could be foreclosure auctions for real estate. It could be for drug seizures with cars. It could be, you know, all sorts of stuff. So the jewelry, you can just kind of select jewelry. I generally don't search the jewelry itself. What I do is I search all of highbid. I go something like, let's say 14 karat, right? And I just search. So anything that says 14 karat, boom, gets listed. And then what I do is I might do a refined search. I do this on my phone so much. I'm not quite often on that. So everything's placed near me. Okay, where's my refined search? Sort, next, single page, hide search bar, lot type. Here we go. Biddable lots. Well, online only. I do because I don't want to worry about having to like outbid somebody somewhere else. I do online only. Auction status. I do open. Boom. Shipping available location category. Might not matter. Okay, so now we got open. And if I see reserve not met, like these guys, I just ignore it. Because the reserve is probably some stupid price and I'll never want to pay it. I want to pay like 10 cents on the dollar for something. So here is a ring. This ring here. It's like a couple little diamonds in it. Let's see what they got. How much does it weigh? 14 karat ring. Auction information. Auction only. This is 2 auctions. Purchase. Tell me about the item. Do you not have anything about the item? How much it weighs? Normally they'll tell you like how many grams it is. It's a very small ring, so maybe 2 or 3 grams. So let's say it's let's say it's 2 grams, and ignoring the gemstones. Who knows what those gemstones are? They might be diamond, they might not. Let's just say it's 14 karat gold. There's 3 grams of gold in it. It's a little bit greater than 50% gold, so we'll say like 1.7 grams, which would put it at about $100 in gold. So if you get this thing for anything less than $100, you're making money on it. That's scrap gold. So right now it's $1. It's got 15 days left, so the price is going to go up on that. What else we got in here? Class rings are always good. So if we see class ring pop up, they're great for scrap metal, because who gives a shit about like whatever high school that person went to. $0 on that guy. These are all 14 karat. You can look for higher if you want. A lot of class rings are 10 karat. So if I throw in 10 karat, we'll get a bunch of class rings. Class rings can be super heavy and actually have more gold than you expect in them. So search 10 karat. Boom, boom, boom. Pendants. We got, give me them class rings, baby. There's a class ring. That looks like one right there. Pendants, lots of pendants. Here's some Art Deco rings. No bids on them. Reserve not on that guy. But yeah, this is stuff. I don't look at the jewelry. I ignore the stone entirely when I buy jewelry. The stone is an afterthought. I look at it entirely as a scrap gold play, and just looking for like what the gold is worth as scrap, and then the stones I can always test them later, figure out what they are, and just do something else with them. But like this looks like a little white opal here. Yeah, a little milky white opal. Decent size ring. 10 karat ring, opal. Very thin, so that's probably 2 or 3 grams of gold plus the 4 or 5 carats of opal, which opal could be worth a little bit. But yeah, ignore the reserve not met ones. If there's a reserve, out the window. I don't care. Anyone want a nice nephew pendant? I'm a nephew. So that was so dumb. All right, let's see what's happening with, and you can also search like scrap gold, and sometimes you'll get all sorts of like broken jewelry that comes up. Ignore these things. You see any of this stuff like gold flake in a vial, ignore them. It is like 10 cents worth of gold, lightly fluffed into a vial. They're going to want you to pay dollars for it, and they're getting a huge markup. So ignore anything with gold flakes in it. What you want is broken ass jewelry. You want this stuff, right? And this will tell you exactly how many grams are here. 14 karat, 7.8 grams. So we can calculate that real quick. We got to go there. So calculator. All right. So 14 carats is 14 divided by 24, which is 58.3% gold. So if you have that times 7.8 grams, 7.8 gives you 4.55 grams of pure gold. That pure gold at $60 or so per gram comes out $273. So this item here, which is currently at $37, you can, as long as you get it for less than $273, you're basically making money on it. So that's the quick math I do. I just figure $60 per gram ish, and go from there. This is all scrap gold, all broken bits, orphaned earrings, things like that. And you can get lots of good scrap gold bits through these auction houses. Watches are a great way to do scrap gold, because the watch mechanism itself is gone, so you don't feel bad about tearing them apart. Some of them, like if you look at this guy, on the back is probably stainless steel, and on this side is likely a 14 karat gold, or what's called rolled gold, which is like a really thick plating that's 5% or more gold in the plating. So you pop all those suckers off with a plier, and then you melt it down and drop it into a pool of water while it's all melty, and it splatters into little pieces. Take those little pieces, throw it into your acid bath, and you start sucking all the metals out of it. So yeah, how much is here? 18 karat, 14 karat. Some got diamonds on them, 6.9 grams total weight. a particular one. Oh, so this is they're doing out 6.9, 12.6, 11, 8, 9. So you got to figure some of that stainless steel, but you're probably looking at, 20, 30 grams, and the price is $220. So, you guys can't see what I'm looking at. Duh. Wrong one. I forgot to go back. Boom. Here we go. That's it'd help if I showed you what I was looking at. So there's a stainless steel backing. So yeah, just calculate. Whenever I tell you 10 karat is 10/24. 24 karat is 100% gold. 12 karat is 50% gold. 18 karat is 3/4 gold, and so on. So you're gonna do the little math. 14 karat divided by 24 karat gives you 58.3% gold. And they're going to multiply that by the grams that are there. And I'll tell you how many grams of pure gold there is. And then you're going to multiply that by like 60. And I'll tell you how much that gold's worth. You always will get more out of it because what's mixed in with the gold is a lot of silver and copper. So you have other metals you can get out when you do your acid baths and scrap. So that's one way to look at it. Did that help at all? Yeah. I mean, you can look for nice jewelry. Like, I'm going to get this for my wife. Do that all day long. I don't do that though, because I don't look for jewelry to give people. I look for jewelry I can absolutely obliterate with acid and make into gold bars. So that's what Houston does. Yeah. Okay. It's Liddy Rad CQ, same bankruptcy lawyers as BBYQ. Rad CQ. Rad CQ. Oh, Rite Aid. That's rad. Yeah, I think Rite Aid might be an interesting play. I mean, they absorbed, here in the Northwest, they absorbed Bartell Drugs. It was a drugstore that had been around for 140 years and was like family owned. And no one in the family wanted to take it over, so they sold to Rite Aid for a couple $100 million last year. So why would Rite Aid spend a couple $100 million to expand, right? And the folks who own Rite Aid also own Walgreens. They're the same. They're the same company. So obviously they're looking at putting all their losses in Rite Aid. I don't know. It's a very weird play. I would like to see who is financing the dip in Philo on Rite Aid as well. I mean, Rite Aid was as low as like 11 cents. Right now it's 22 or so. Interesting. JM Houston, prepare for launch. I'm prepared, man. I've been strapped in and ready to go for a long time. First name, last name, Houston. Would you rather retire as soon as you're eligible with minimal benefits or keep working to max out retirement benefits, and why? Seen two people die soon after retiring after maxing out. I'm looking to retire as soon as humanly possible. The minute I think I have enough that I can make off of interest or annuities, I'm done. I would rather be comfortably middle class and retired than rich and retired for like a year or two and then dying. Like, that does not interest me at all. I'll retire at 43 if I can. I have no interest in contributing to society anymore. I'm done. I'm over it. I'm out. Scott Lumley, Houston, happy birthday. How many cats is too many cats? What's your best cat story? I mean, right now, monkey. Quit bothering the cat. You're like a dog with a bone right now. Stop it. No. You just stay right there. I like lots of cats. I've always just had one because more than one starts to be weird. Right now we got 3, and 2 of them are not mine. They're my roommates. And I love those little cats. They're sweet little dudes. Best cat story. I think I talked about the home I grew up in had a half door, right? And during the summer, we just opened the top half of the door, and all the air would come in, and it was lovely. You hear the birds chirping. And the cat, she would jump in and out of that door. And I remember one day I was coming home. I don't know if I was coming from school or if I was coming home from friends or whatever, but I came around the corner just as the cat was jumping over the half door, and I startled her, and somehow, and this is perplexed my mind forever because it defies every law of physics we have. She's in the air. She's flying towards me as I come around the corner. She turned around midair and somehow flew back inside the house. And I cannot, for the life of me, explain what I saw. It was as weird as a UFO or seeing Sasquatch, was seeing a cat defy her inertia, turn around midair, and somehow propel herself in the opposite direction because I scared her as she jumped out of the door. It was the damnedest thing I may ever see in my entire life. And I wish she had the language to explain to me how she did that, because I would win a Nobel Prize. As that cat somehow has thrust. Boggles my mind. I still picture it to this day. Come around the corner, her eyes going, "Oh God!" and then turning around midair and flying back inside the house without touching anything. It was just air. She's monkey. Hey, stop it. Leave the cat alone. Stop trying to stalk the cat, okay? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop. Leave it alone, okay? Jeez, my knees. She's like, "I've had enough of that hissing. I'm gonna fuck that cat up." No, you're gonna stop. You're gonna leave it. Astra 03, Houston. If you are ever in Ireland, give me a shout. Would love to show you around and avoid tourist traps. Great content here as always, brother. I would love to go to Ireland. I have a old college roommate named Rasa, who's in Ireland I have not seen in 20 years. And I would love to go see that guy and see what he's up to. He's now Dr. Rasa, Doctor of Astronomy. Impressive, right, monkey? Yep. So, Rasa was hilarious. Says 54, Elon versus Wikipedia, trash. Human is trash. I wish him nothing but the worst. Yeah, Elon complaining about Wikipedia, like it costs you money to run that site. Says the guy who doesn't pay for his server farms. Yeah, why have a repository of human knowledge available to everybody when you can have X, which is proffering fake news as much as possible to people and destroying their brains? JM, the weight of RC's balls slow the Earth's rotation. Wolflex, the biggest caution would be Bank of America, not JP Morgan. I think Bank of America 1, Wells Fargo 2, Citi 3 on my rankings of most likely bank to get vaporized. Brandon Cowles, Houston, why do astronomers keep meat in the shower so they can experience a meteor shower? Hayes Productions. Houston, you mentioned job numbers are still good, but they show more low-wage job gains and losses on good jobs. It's the four minimum wage for every 70,000 job. This is bad, misleading. Exactly. More Americans are working multiple jobs now than they ever have in the past. It's terrible. And the job gains that are happening are lower paying jobs and not the higher paying jobs needed to maintain the economy. It's people who are in the job market and they just take whatever they can get because that's better than nothing, right? So, yeah. Dubiwa 420, UVXY or DRV, which has greater potential? That's a good question. I think one hits and the other follows. I don't know if they'll spike at the same time. Monkey. I think both of them fly hundreds of % when the shit hits the fan. Now, I don't think we'll see numbers like we saw in the past with them because, you know, they have rates of decay and they do splits, right? So the rates of decay mean that the spike that happened in March 2020 won't necessarily be the equivalent of the spike we see now, but the spike you see now will be greater than the spike we'd see later as a decay. But at the same time, you know, hundreds or thousands of % growth in both when the shit hits the fan in the real estate market and when SPY hits the fan. So hard to say which one will win and win first because I honestly don't know. I'm an hour and a half behind in the chat, FYI. I'm really, really, really far behind the chat. I have to be out of here at 4 p.m. I cannot be here any later. So if you desperately want me to answer a question, the only way I'm going to know I'm going to see it is if you super chat that sucker, and I'll get to that. Outside that, I won't be able to do it. Crossbone super chat. Look, LGIQ is an OTC stock merging with a SPAC. I've been told possible 10x profit by end of year with a new price after merger. LGIQ. 20 cents. Logic Incorporated. What do they do? What are you, Logic Incorporated? Software service provider, innovative ways, target, engage. Anything happening in the news? Trading halt, April 24th, 2023. DLQ announces effective registration statement on Form S4 connection with pending listing on NASDAQ. I don't know what that means. Logic sees revenue growth ahead of SPAC merger. Eyes expansion and merger acquisition opportunities. Reported a sizable increase on their 2Q ahead of its pending merger with ABRI SPAC Incorporated. So ABRI is who they're merging with. ABRI. Oh, all. Come on. Go back. Oops, I did talk, not stock. Boom. 2705. Okay. So if they're merging, does that mean it's going to become a 2705? Right? Or are you going to get anything out of your 20 cents share for them? Like if I buy the Logic stock at 20 cents, is it going to be worth 2705 or what? What's happening? I guess that's something to look into. Crossbones. But it's flying. I mean, it's up 114% today alone from where it was yesterday, right? So it was at $11 and then shabam, 28. So SPAC play is going hard. $11 for a long time is this thing as a SPAC. Year to date, looks like there was a blurb in August when it was announced they're going to be doing the merger, and now it's gone crazy. Interesting. What about Logic itself? Logic, Google search. Their year to date. They have been steadily going down. So they were an 60 cent stock, bounced off 50, bounced off 50 something, dropping down. So if you buy them, how's the merger working with their shares? Is it going to be like a 20 to 1 or something? 100 to 1? How's that work? I'll have to look into that, Crossbones. If you have more info, send it my way. I'd love to see it. Peachy Sunday's here. Squamps, UFC fight Don Fry versus Yoshihiro Takayama with Freebird guitar solo. Squamps, I know what the UFC is. I assume those are fighters. I don't know where the guitar solo plays in here, but sounds like a hell of a show. Dementia Maximoff, I never got an answer back about Dragon shirts, lol. We do have Dragon sometimes shows up in our chat. Maybe he's got some shirts for you. I should make a shirt that said, "You took away my Dragon shirts and forever changed the course of my life," and put that in the store. I need to get on that, monkey. I do. I need to get on that. Some folks ordered things from the store, This is the weirdest thing. So we've got the HWAP store, the Houston We Have a Problem store, with goofy shit that, buy t-shirts or hoodies or whatever. Printful is who makes it, and Shopify is who sells it. So someone buys on Shopify, they send me an email and they say, hey, you now have to make this happen. So I log in and I click send it. And they go, okay, we're sending it. I don't understand why they can't just send it themselves without me having to log in. So some people ordered some things starting September. Jigish Shukla and Javier Martinez. I didn't know, because all of a sudden the email that comes from Shopify went to my spam and was like, hey, you need to confirm this order. I didn't know. And then Jigish wrote me yesterday. He's like, hey, I ordered something from you a month ago. I haven't gotten shit. And I looked at my spam. They're the emails telling me to confirm. It's a dumb system. Just if someone orders it, automatically confirm. I don't know why you wouldn't do that. So Jigish and Javier, your things are coming. And I apologize that it took me that long to see the email that said, hey, someone ordered something. I just figured that no one didn't care about the store because I can't get it to hook up to the YouTube channel for some reason. And there you go. But yes, hwap.spotify.com, not shopify.com, right? Yes, we have a problem. Shopify.com. Yes. Right? Boom. This guy. Houston Have a Problem storefront. You get yourself Houston Have a Problem things. Be stronger than Lizard Brain. My fish wears a mattress. My fish wears a mattress sweatshirt. Get yourself the poster of the weird strangeness that I still owe Leo B, I believe. Get yourself a thermos. I made more products and I can't figure out how to get them to appear. I was trying to make this into a puzzle, and it was freaking out trying to be a puzzle. But yeah. So we got Jorge to thank for the designs on a couple of these guys. He did the My Fish Wears a Mattress sweatshirt and the Weird Strangeness comic book thing. And then Scott, who did my original intro, did the logos for these guys. So yeah, there you go. Huckstering for all of you. You're the one taking my dragon shirts. If I ever change the course of my life, right, monkey? All right. Aaron Salentine, Houston, did you hear that Ham Short Killer is standing outside of an important meeting of the SEC and higher-ups on info on Finger being shorted by Lynn Partners today, passing out info on to them? Well, there you go, Ham Short Killer. I still have to have Ham on the show. If you guys can communicate with him, so have him bring on. We'll talk about it. Swamps. Matter can be created and destroyed because negative electrons canceling out positively charged electrons in the Large Hadron Collider. This is true. Matter appears before us at all times. Everywhere you are, there is a piece of antimatter and a piece of matter appearing into existence, colliding with each other, disappearing, leaving behind a gamma ray photon. So that's one of the things that ages you. Josh Dobbs. Does this Overstock news have any ties to Butterfly or anything going on with our side BYQ? Not necessarily. It's been theorized that the Overstock side is the play that ICANN gets. So ICANN is Overstock and Bad Bath & Beyond. And Ryan Cohen is Dream on Me and Bye Bye Baby. That's the hypothesis. That's what everyone's speculating. So the fact that Overstock so quickly just threw away their entire 20-plus year history of existing to become Bed Bath & Beyond on a whim seems weird. So to me, it seems like there's a larger play at hand, and this is just, one of the pieces deliciously going into place for this whole thing. Daniel Holcomb, nice to see you, Houston. Thank you, Daniel Holcomb. Aaron Salentine, 200 million shares naked shorted on 21 million short float for Finger. Yes. Dan Harris. I hope that all of the daily records are saved for the books and the movie sure to come. What an amazing time to live right now. The writer of this book will be golden. Yep. I mean, Josh Hamilton wrote a GME book, and he's never been able to get it out there because it's not over yet. He's waiting for it to get over before he can in conclusion, blah, blah, blah happened. But he's got a huge book written already, and he's just waiting for the ending so he can publish it. So here we are. We're sitting and waiting. ABC123, the government is broke. The only way they can afford to bail out these criminal banks is again printing dollars and hyperinflation. Yep, that's it. And you want to be on the rich part of the hyperinflation trend than the poor part. So that's why we've got these negative beta stocks we're hoping will work. PWO brand, your money is insured in banks no matter how screwed up they operate. Your money will do the same thing in a bank, a credit union, and a leverage to the hilt, or a broker-backed bank. To $250,000. And if you're Canadian in a credit union, you are infinitely insured. That's the important thing. If you're, for my Canadian viewers, in your bank in Canada, you're insured to $100,000. In your credit union, you're insured to infinity. You could have the entire gross national product of Canada in your credit union account, and you will be insured. So take note of that. Allegro Grub, any update? No labs? None. I'm suspecting that they're going to release something by the end of the year regarding their phase 3 trials. So I'm holding out hope that we get some news on that. Squamps, my 78-year-old coworker, is an absolute battle axe. That also happens. Well, flex, union jobs, usually the pension jobs. Yeah, unions. Yeah, unions indeed. And that's the whole reason why the auto workers are striking, is because they gave up pension pay to save the auto companies in 2008, and then they never got it back. While the auto companies are giving executives like record pay, they're making record profits. They're like, hey, give us our pension back. And the auto companies are like, no. So the unions are going on strike. And now the auto companies are going to be hurting. Andrew Vanderhelm, UPS has a pension for now. They do. And they also are getting paid dope amounts of money. If you could become a driver at UPS, you're making good living. D, hey Houston, look into ARSE. ASRE. ASRE. Spinoff coming soon. They have amazing revolutionary technology. Okay. So ASRE, not ARSE. Stock. These guys, Astra Energy Incorporated. They're at 26 cents currently. What's happening in the news? CEO maybe pays off convertible note ahead of maturity date, so they're paying off stuff in August. Announces spin out of Regreen Technologies. Okay. So when's that going to be? Sure, whatever. Astra. Under the agreement, Astra will distribute the common shares of Spinco to Astra shareholders. Once the arrangement becomes effective, Astra shareholders of record will ultimately own shares in 2 public companies. Spinco, which will focus on manufacturing, licensing, and distribution of equipment based on the Regreen patented technology, and Astra, the parent company, which will continue with both development of its clean and renewable energy projects ahead of the advancement of the Holcomb Energy Systems initiatives. Okay. 26 cents. It's cheap. I assume that they're probably OTC. More. Tell me more. OTC. They're OTC stock. Okay. So, they were down as low as 10 cents as of July, and they've flown as high as 45 before like melting back down again. Interesting. All right. Dan Harris, I know you do, Houston, but I hope everyone has a plan to sell, plan to do with money, how to protect it, etc. This is probably a lifetime event and would hate to see Q holders screwed at the end. The biggest key, if this plays out the way we think, and we are cajillionaires, right? From a MOAS type situation. Pay your taxes. Simple. Just pay your taxes. Understand, you make a cajillion dollars. It's cajillion dollars minus 37.5%. Right? So you're in this cajillion dollar range. So about a third of what you make, a little bit more than a third of what you make off this, if it's a short-term play, as many who are with thousands and thousands of shares of Bed Bath & Beyond are, pay your taxes. Now, You can lower your tax burden. Talk to some attorneys and some accountants. Talk about how you can lower your tax burden, because you can form trusts, you can donate to charity, you can invest, take that money, invest into a holding company, and it becomes a write-off. You'll be able to write off a whole bunch, maybe find credits in other places. But I firmly suggest finding reputable attorneys and accountants who handle other rich people. If you know rich people in your life, talk to them. Be like, hey, you're filthy rich. Who do you use? And use that information. You can always, you can look into your financial, planners or wealth manager stuff later. But first things first, and we've got a shortening window before December 31st, the end of the year, to figure out what the hell we're going to do with this stuff and how we're going to pay the taxes and how much taxes we're likely going to owe, etc. So get an attorney, get attorneys, tax attorney, an account, CPA, folks that know the ins and outs of doing these things for rich folks and how they work. Because if you all of a sudden are like, I made $100 million and I bought a $50 million house and a $20 million vacation home, and all of a sudden you owe more money than what you have available on hand in taxes because you just spent it too fast, don't do that. Like, don't. Get an attorney, get an accountant, figure this crap out before December 31st. And it's gonna be crunch time for a lot of folks, depending on when this plays out. And so pay your taxes. Make sure you have enough money to pay your taxes, because nothing like winning the lotto and then going to prison because you never paid your taxes on it. Not a great place to be. You might have some money in your commissary account at that point, but pay your taxes. Apache Football Films Houston. Does it actually matter what happens to BBBY now, since the brokerages have taken our shares and we are no longer invested in BBBY? We are awaiting distribution of new equity. That's where the focus of the play is. We're waiting for documents to get filed with the courts, documents to get filed with the SEC, saying, hey, we're emerging from bankruptcy. We're going to be this butterfly company. We're going to be doing these reverse mergers and blah, 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 blah. And new equity and or cash will be going to the existing shareholders. That's what we're waiting for. And until then, thumb twiddling, doing YouTube shows, hanging out on Reddit, speculating. That's all we can do. We're just waiting. We're waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. We are waiters through and through. Zia Trades, the sole fact baby Instagram X had job listings and openings fall. I think I'm reading this wrong. The sole fact that baby Instagram and X had job listings and opening this fall have to mean it's around the corner. How could someone apply and not be told when they're starting? Bingo. Money over Mayo's here. Orange cats cause all crimes. The squumps. This is also true. G-Font, any news on those producers for Rock Show? Nothing. Nothing at all. No news. I got nothing. I got nothing. Okay. There you go. I think I made G-Font a mod finally. It wasn't working before. I think I got this time. G-Font, you're now a mod. Congratulations. You have responsibility. Jason Blackwell, Houston. What is the Mario Brothers' favorite fabric? Sing it. Denim, denim, denim. God damn it. Although I got a great reaction from your pretty nuts joke the other day. That one, that's one I'm putting into the bank. I'm going to save that one and use it constantly. Okay. Honey, I shrunk the stonk. The chill face. Sorry I'm late. Did you talk about the weirdness on the options chain earlier today? Well, didn't the DTCC/OCC have a conniption and options aren't working? And I think they're all hacked, man. There's some bug in there that's worming its way around, and yeah, I think everybody's screwed. Like, the London Stock Exchange goes weird last week. Now we got the DTCC going weird this week. There's some little bug in there that's crawling around. Squamp Houston, what's your Halloween costume? You have to tune in on Charity Tuesday to find out. So, you'll see. Gregory, look into, I'm pretty sure it's 50,000 per. Oh, it's talking about insuring for banks. Yeah, FDIC. Park Live, do you think Free Trade UK removed my shares saying they are worthless? I may still have a chance. We all got them removed because they're worthless. So you're in the club now. What you need to confirm with Free Trade is if there's an equity distribution, you're still the owner of record. That's what you need to see. That's what you need to clarify with them. Swamps Rose's cat is cool. Sashimi is a very cool cat. Bill Cray, sorry. 15, do millionaires and billionaires have their own type of health insurance, or do they pay out of pocket because they can afford it? I think they do a little bit of both. They probably get those gold plans that cost $1,000 a month because they don't care. And then if they pay out of pocket, they pay out of pocket. I don't think they really care. Suljo, Kozenjik. Hey, bud, curious if you're in Finger, and if so, any thoughts, any news on BBYQ? I'm in Finger as an options play. No news on BBYQ. We're still waiting on that. I have a feeling Finger is going to keep doing this like monthly cycle where they go to $7, go to $3.50, go to $7, go to $3.50, go to $7, and they're going to get hammered down just before the options expire on the monthlies. I think Finger needs to have someone write weekly options for them. But I don't know if their float is large enough to write weekly options. That's the problem. Because their float's 20 million. That's why they got monthlies. But if they can figure out how to get some weekly options going so that this stuff can close on some random Friday and start a gamma, that's what they need. So, yeah. Until then, I don't know if anything's going to trigger a squeeze on them. Lynn Capital's getting away with it for now. I'll take their $500, Grandpa. Dan Harris, I may be wrong, but I'm sure Rose lost a cousin and another relative, Middle East fighting. So sad. Her cousin was a journalist, and he was killed in the first couple of days of this. Apparently, he had heard there's going to be a target of a building. Went to a nearby building to see what was going to happen, and the bomb missed and hit the building he was in. So, shit. War journalists are the world's craziest adrenaline junkies, and they put their lives on the line to get you crazy information that you otherwise would not know about. There's a whole bunch of journalists from like Reuters got blown up by a mortar in Lebanon that was fired from Israel that missed its mark and just wiped out a bunch of journalists. They are in probably one of the most dangerous jobs you could possibly imagine. It's like war journalist, crab fisherman, commercial diver. Those are probably the three most logger. Those are probably the most dangerous jobs you could do. I got 6 minutes left, folks. Only 6 minutes, and I got to run. Go pick up my friends from the airport. Money over mayo. The trees kept voting for the axe because the handle was made out of wood. Yeah. Leopards eating your face off party. Trey Spider Houston, have you heard that Ken Bedpost Griffin wants to build a $1 billion house in Palm Beach? It makes sense. Florida laws make it impossible for people to reclaim winnings, or what'd you call it? If you win a lawsuit, right, against somebody, you cannot seize their home and sell it in Florida. So I think Ken Griffin wants to make the most expensive house in existence so that if he loses everyone's money and he gets sued to oblivion by his clients, they can't take his $1 billion house, and he'll have $1 billion of equity to play with no matter what he's doing. So that's why he wants to build $1 billion house in Florida, because that's why O.J. Simpson moved to Florida. O.J. Simpson took all his money and he put it into a giant house in Florida so that Nicole Brown Simpson's family and the other guy that was murdered could not get the $30 million they're owed via their civil lawsuit. That's the whole reason why OJ's in Florida, is because that home is a massive storage of wealth for him, and they'll never be able to get it. And he can play off of the equity of that home for as long as he lives. So that's that. Right, dude? Yeah. Plus, he'll probably have tons of money offshore, right? Because you will be able to claw that stuff back. It's all sorts of shell companies offshore. You'll never be able to find it. Wilbur Dodge. They want this deal to be executed perfectly with zero mistakes, zero fraud. That way retail investors do not get left holding the bag. I think you're right. And I think they want to cross all the T's, dot all the I's, make sure everything is absolutely perfect before they do anything on this. So they're going to pull that trigger when they're ready. And if I were a Doug Sifu or Ken Griffin, I'd be so worried about what's going to happen. The Mets will be looking for a new owner. The Panthers will be looking for a new owner. Hockey team Panthers. Who else? Steve Cohen. Isn't Steve Cohen the one who bought? What's Steve Cohen? No, Steve Cohen's the Mets. It was what's his butt from Melvin. Why is the name leaving my face, monkey? Plotkin, Gabe Plotkin. He's the one that bought the Hornets, right? From Michael Jordan, because he lost Michael Jordan a bunch of money and had to pay Michael Jordan back. So he bought the Hornets for $3 billion. It was probably borrowed from Ken Griffin. The Hornets are probably looking for a new owner as well once this all goes puny pop. Yeah. So we'll be owning all sports teams, man. There'll be upheaval in the sports team ownership market, and a whole bunch of weirdos will be suddenly stepping in to take over their favorite sports teams. Julius Miami, Houston, incredible how a Category 1 quickly increased to a Category 5 and slammed Acapulco. New trend? The speed at which these storms are growing in intensity is unlike anything. The storm what was that storm that passed through, brushed off Florida a couple months ago, monkey? It went from a depression to like a Category 4 in less than 24 hours. It's nuts. National Hurricane Center. Got Tammy sitting out here. What's Tammy supposed to do? Where's your cone, Tammy? Tammy's gonna spool around, probably cause problems. I want Eastern Pacific Hurricane Center. That's what I want. There we go. So Otis, that's who that was. Got one depression out here. One guy, 7% chance of cyclone formation forming off of like Costa Rica right now, in Nicaragua. You guys can't see what I'm looking at. This is Otis. This is the one that slammed into Acapulco. It's still doing 30 knots. It's probably dropping just feet of rain. And we got this one forming off of Central America right now. This guy, low chance. One that forms out here usually heads towards Hawaii. These ones can head towards Hawaii, but often spiral up and go north. And then Tammy out here, and she's gonna just kind of spool around in these cooler waters and might not do anything interesting, but probably a good surf for Bermuda. If you're a surfer in Bermuda, hit that sucker up. Bermuda right there. That's Bermuda. So surf's up, brah. But no, the intensity of these storms are getting is due entirely to water temperature, and water temperatures are bonkers right now. So that's just fuel for the fire for them. Okay, I can do one more, and then I really do have to run away. And I am so sorry. I'm an hour and a half behind everybody's questions and comments and everything else. Okay, that doesn't cover anything new. That doesn't cover anything new. It's a cruel joke. I'm not reading that one. Okay. All right. talking about pension plans. Come on, one more good question. One more good one. It's Liddy, family manager, and need that founders package for Honeypot Holdings Company. Well, Honeypot Holdings will only be able to form post MOAS. It's a post MOAS kick to the nuts for the short hedge funds. So that's the plan. When I got enough dineros to make the plan happen accordingly, they'll be Honeypot Holdings. Okay, let's scroll down. There's one new question down here at the end that can help. Okay. I did that one. Fred Jones, here's the ending for Josh Hamilton, and they lived happily ever after, rich as fuck. Okay. All right. Anyways, I gotta go. Again, I'll see you guys Friday. If documents, if an SEC filings appear tomorrow, I'll do an emergency show at some point tomorrow. But if not, I'll see you guys Friday. Have a great night. Enjoy your day. Pay your orange cats. Do that whole thing. And shaboink.